Do you want early access? Do you want uncut reactions? If so, then check out our Patreon. Link in the description down below. On December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in Wait, that's the wrong declaration of war. Shit.
I forgot something. Okay.
Forgot his vape.
By the way, apparently, I knew the name Grice sounded familiar for some reason. We were wrong on Falco's relationship to Eren.
Yeah.
Grice was one of the guys that was with Grisha on the wall when they were executing them / turning them into Titans.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of people telling us, where we're missing something, where we're wrong, and look, here's the thing, I've just learned to roll with it. And I'm glad y'all are willing to fill us in on that, because there's a lot that, don't get me wrong, we don't think that Annie is related to Kenny.
Yeah, that too.
We know that a lot of things we're still in the dark about, but hopefully, as this series progresses on, more and more stuff will become clear to us. But right now, one thing that's clear to us...
People were like, it showed Annie's father in a previous season. I don't remember that at all.
I remember, someone giving her a hug, but here's the thing I've learned about fathers in certain cases. Someone can pose as the father to somebody, but is not the biological father. That has happened before. I mean, hell. It's
also hard to tell with this show, because sometimes things are exactly what they seem like, and sometimes things are nothing close to what they seem like they are. So
exactly. That's the problem.
It's really easy to kind of be like, oh shit, random plot twists, and then it's no, it was just something that was easily misconstrued.
Something that flew under the radar. Here we are. I know some of you are probably mad, that we skipped a week, but hey, the show skipped a week, so it's just the way it goes.
If they're mad, I don't know how, why,
I guess maybe they thought, well, you guys were a week behind, we thought you all did that because... It was no, we just were a week behind because, that's just how we came into it. I mean, that's...
I wonder how many people were like, they stopped watching it. We finally goaded them in to stop watching it. Oh, wait, the show skipped a week.
Yeah, exactly. Next thing you know, we show up a week later, and they're just like, crap, damn it, they heard us.
I will watch the show to the very end and get as many things wrong as I will get wrong and piss off as many of you as I can, just because it's fucking hilarious to me at this point.
Honestly, man.
I do not give a shit how pissed you get at me getting things wrong and how much you think I don't understand what's happening in the show. I'm still going to watch it. I'm still going to enjoy it, and I'm still going to go back and figure out all the correct answers after the fact. And y'all can just shit all over yourselves in the comment sections till then, if you're that kind of person that does that.
Oh, well.
It's I've already talked to several other fans who are way more reasonable about this show so far. I got a buddy that's hanging out with me in Discord now that I think is pretty cool, and he's been a lot more nice about talking to me about the show than a lot of people in the comment section have so far.
Wait, Nick, a fandom being reasonable? What sort of witchcraft is this shit?
I would not say that the fandom as a whole is reasonable.
No, I know. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
It's more like there are fringe people who actually decide to be nice.
Anyway, we've got this queued up here. We got the Declaration of War, episode 5 of season 4 queued up here. I want to get to it. I want to see what's up. Because we left off on quite the cliffhanger last episode. Now I want a resolution. Here we go.
I'm assuming from the title of the episode that shit's about to possibly go down too.
誰かに許してほしかったんでしょう。
なぜかこう思うんだ。あのおじさんはきっと誰かに裁いてほしかったんじゃないかな。
お二人は古い友人だと聞いたんですが。ですよね、クルーガーさん。あ
あ、お互い積もる話が多くてな。ここはいい席だろう。ステージの喧騒がよく聞こえる。この上の建物は普通の住居だ。ステージの裏側だ。 多くの住民がここのすぐ上でな。
あれ、クルーガさん、手を怪我しているんですか？
つまり
So did he do that just to show him that, like, hey, obviously I can't transform because my body's not whole right now?
I don't know.
Because, like, I mean, he should know that just by looking at him, but maybe he just was doing it as a reminder, but he's obviously saying, like, you can't transform because all these people are right above us, so
That's another thing too.
have a fucking seat.
ブラウンさん、あんたの息子で死んでねえ。兄は生きてる。
Ah, there's Annie's pop.
収容区に揃うなんて。それに各国の大使や名家の数々。
There was ever a time for a friggin' like monstrous takedown.
マーレの戦士よ、マガト隊長がお呼びだ。
Uh-oh.
何しにここに来た。ならないか。お前と同じだよ。仕方なかったってやつだ。聞こうぜ。
今からおよそ100年前、エルディア帝国は巨人の力で世界を支配していました。現世の人類が3度絶滅しても足りないほどの命が、その殺戮こそが人類史であり、エルディア帝国が歩んだ歴史でした。同族同士で殺し合いを始めました。巨人大戦の始まりです。そしてこの状況に勝機を見出したマーレ人がいました。彼こそが英雄ヘイロス。ことは不可能とされたフリッツ王さえも島に退かせることに成功したのです。体に力を持ったまま世界を踏み潰せるだけの幾千万もの巨人があの島に控えています。偶然である。
Not exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, there's.
I mean, not anymore, anyways.
Yeah.
お前たちは世界を救おうとした。そうなんだろう。
まま正門に行け。
はーい。
二人はこっちだ。
Wait a second.
あなたをどこかで見たことがある気がする。
Oh no. Oh, wait a second. I know what. Is that? Oh! Is that Harriman?
That's what I'm wondering.
何年前の
You're putting it together now, aren't you, Falco?
知り合ったのはパラディと。いや、そんなわけが。だってそんなこと。
So the Jaw Titan and the Cart Titan have been disposed of for now.
真実とは少々異なります。巨人大戦を終わらせたのはヘイロスでもタイバー家でもありませんでした。あの戦争を終結させ世界を救ったのはフリッツ王なのです。
Oh.
彼は始祖の巨人を継承すると同時にタイバー家と画策し、一人のマーレ人を英雄と称し活躍させました。リア国民を島に移し壁の門を閉ざしました。フリッツ王は自らの思想を引き継がせるため不戦のちぎりを生み出しました。つまり世界を守っていたのは我々が忌むべき壁の王だと思っていたカール・フリッツの平和を願う心なのです。後にマーレが力をつけ王家の命や始祖の巨人を奪おうとするならそれを受け入れる。それほどまでにエルディア人の犯した罪は重く決して償うことはできない。
本当に壁の王が世界を侵略することがないならパラディ島教理論とは何だったのか。
ラーゲとはありもしない名誉を貪る卑しい小僧殿に過ぎない。
戦士たちが呼びに向かった兵士ともども姿を消しました。予備隊を動員し捜索しよう。
戦士を拘束する仕掛けだろうね。古典的だけどこの狭さじゃ巨大化できない。ましてや二人じゃ。
始祖の巨人の力で三重の壁を築きました。この壁はおよそ幾千万もの超大型巨人で作られており、盾と矛として平和を守ってきました。フリッツ王の平和思想は淘汰され、始祖の巨人はあるものに奪われました。平和への反逆者
That's where he was going with this.
ファルコ、お前には助けられた。
あの手紙、俺に届けさせたあの手紙は。
That's right.
仲間には届いた。
Oh.
先ほど説明した通り、王家の血筋は不戦のちぎりにより始祖の巨人を行使することはない。しかし現在、始祖の巨人を身に宿すエレン・イェーガーは地ならしを発動させる可能性。あらゆる都市や文明は踏み潰され、文字通り全ては平らな地表と化すのです。
イータイバーの言う通り、俺は悪者だ。世界を滅ぼしてしまうかもしれない。お前たちが悪者に見えた。俺の故郷は巨人に蹂躙され、目の前で母親が食われた。なぜだ、ライナー。なんで母さんはあの日、巨人に食われた。
俺たちがあの日、壁を破壊したからだ。
その任務とは
子孫奪還し、世界を救うことだ。
それは仕方ないよな。確かに俺は海の向こう側にあるもの全てが敵に見えた。そして今、海を渡って敵と同じ屋根の下で敵と同じ飯を食った。お前と同じだよ。いいやつもいる。壁の中も同じなんだ。一体何ができたよ、子供だったお前に。なあライナー、お前ずっと苦しかっただろ。
兄とベルトルトは作戦を中止して引き返そうとしたのに、俺は二人を無理やり説得して作戦を続行させたんだ。俺が悪いんだよ。お前の母親が巨人に食われたのは俺のせいだ。
私はこの血を恨みました。
俺を殺してくれ。
ですが私は死にたくありません。だから今、死にたくない者は力を貸してほしい。
お前と同じだ。
パラディ島の悪魔と戦ってほしい。
多分生まれた時からこうなんだ。
演じします。
俺は進み続ける。敵を駆逐するまで。
Oh shit.
パラディ島勢力へ宣戦布告を。
Oh hell. Oh my god. Eren. You didn't. Holy shit.
That's a way to send a fucking message.
You ain't kidding. Fuck me, dude. Is there...
Everybody in that audience just collectively shit themselves.
Of course, because what's in front of them? The fucking Attack Titan.
The guy who was just talking about just fucking appears and eats the guy that was talking about him.
Yeah.
Or at least it looks like he's going to eat him anyway.
It looks like it. We'll see. I mean, he's in midair.
That's the thing. He said that we have the Warhammer Titan among our family.
They didn't reveal who.
I'm assuming it's him, but if it's not, he's kind of fucked.
I would
say... If it is,
say...
he has the ability to transform, like, you know, really quickly, possibly, and, you know, there's going to be a fight between them. But if it's not him, he's kind of dead.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, fuck, dude.
Dude,
that's
oh crazy shit.
God, dude, that was absolutely nuts. But
see, like, that was the thing is, it's like everybody's like, yeah, this show's really great. This show's really great. And I was like, yeah, it is. And there's still reasons for, like, rooting for, I guess, the side you really
want to root for,
honestly.
Well,
like, I'm still kind of on Eren's side. Like, I'm just like, yo, like, the speech that guy just gave, it's like, yeah, this guy is like the enemy of the state now, essentially, and shit. And it's like, it's cool. I'm the enemy of the state because I have this thing that I didn't fucking ask for. Like, I never wanted this power, and it was just given to me by my dead father, essentially. Like, you know, it was given to
effectively,
me
it can be
it's
seen.
Like, I didn't fucking ask for this. I didn't ask to be in this situation. And effectively, like, that's the thing. You're my enemy because you're gonna fucking come after me until I sit you the fuck down, like, you know, until I tell you no, and like you get the fucking point. Like, he doesn't really have a choice. Like, Reiner didn't have a choice. Like,
no, I mean,
it's like you gotta.
I think the whole thing.
He's taking the first strike. He's like, that was it right there. He said they're gonna come after me, so fuck them. Like,
of course,
I don't entirely blame him. Like,
well,
what he's about to do is essentially like the equivalent of like a really fucked up terrorist attack. Well, I'm pretty sure, but
I would say
I don't entirely blame him.
I don't either, but at the same by the same token, you know, there's a lot that Eren. Well, we're gonna see like the full scale of what Eren is willing to do for victory in the next episode. I guarantee we're gonna get like.
It doesn't help that there was like the asshats like trying to be like spoilery without really being spoilery last season, so that I'm fully expecting some of the things that are coming up to be like things that are gonna be like, that's fucked up, like, you know. But
I don't doubt it, but but the truth is, we'll have to see. There's a lot that I don't know. I've kept myself as spoiler free.
Yeah.
Going forward as humanly possible.
Like, I don't know any specifics as to what happened. I just am anticipating some fucked up shit to go down. So,
yeah. Also, that soldier that led the cart and the Jaw Titan, I think that was Ahriman. Either that or it was someone.
If it's not Armin, it's somebody else from their group. I don't know how many of them.
Either that or it's that
would be infiltrating over there. Like, they may all be there in different capacities. Like, or it may just be a couple of them. Like, who knows?
I don't know. Well,
so you would think the idea of going in undercover is like less people equals easier to conceal yourselves. But more people equals more safety net should something go wrong, or more power if you should choose to reveal yourself and attack. Like, so.
I would say the fact that the unit, I guarantee you, that got sent over there, Eren is like deep infiltration. Eren, you know, deliberately, you know, leg cut off, eye covered up and everything. He looks like he's, you know, a survivor of a battle. He looks like he's yeah, and he can pull that off. He's one of the only few who can pull that off. And I would say the others are there. I think Ahriman is there. I think that was Ahriman who cut the rope and trapped the Jaw and Cart Titan. And I think the rest of them are there in a way. They're just waiting for Eren to make his move. And now that he's made his move, I think we're going to see the reveal of the rest of the characters. For instance, I think leading this mission overall is going to be Levi, considering he is the leader of the scouts now. Like, he's the leader.
Well, I mean, technically, it could be him, but also where Armin was essentially chosen over, spacing on his name, the previous...
Oh, Erwin.
Yeah, Erwin. Where Armin was chosen over him, and like he's got all of his tactics and stuff. They could have possibly put him in charge by now.
I would say Armin is probably like lead strategist, but in terms of like,
I would say if anything,
he's
like helping Levi come up with the strategies if he's not in charge.
I would say that too. I'd say Levi is like has final call, has final say, and is just like leading this plan of attack, and of course. You know who else is waiting in the wings, ready to go at the drop of a hat? Fucking Mikasa. And in a city like this, it's a field day for her. She could literally slice up so many people and move around so well in such a tight space like this in sort of like a cityscape almost. And plus with Eren there, as sort of like a central point where she could attach onto as well. There's no telling what kind of chaos she could unleash.
That would be kind of crazy to see, like, the maneuver gear unleashed against, like, all these soldiers, like, that are just on foot, and just be like, oh, shit, they're coming from everywhere.
Well, you gotta think.
Like, especially if they like, maybe, like, reverse engineered or picked up or decided to copy, like, the weaponry that, like, Kenny and his squad were using, like, the anti-personnel guns and stuff.
I would say they probably did. I'd say, because they got the Thunder Spears. The Thunder Spears were, like, advanced tech then. And I think
I have a feeling those are coming back because I've already seen some art from this season that looks like they were holding those still. So,
well, I don't doubt it. Well, in terms, they're still fighting against Titans. Thunder Spears does gangbusters again. If it can take down the Armored Titan, and I guarantee you they'll use it against the Beast Titan. They'll use it against any Titan that they can jam them into, because that's one of their most effective offensive weapons. Another thing too is just all of the stuff that's happened so far. You know, what's leading into this. I think we are gonna see the Paradisians turn loose, and basically this is the declaration of war. Now we're gonna see the follow through of it.
So I wonder if this is gonna be a very dark ending to this show. Like if it's gonna be like,
I would say so.
A situation where
this is war, man.
You know, the whole deal was like the big symbol from the show back after season 1, and it's not really like come back up quite as much. It was just like mentioned more of in an indirect way throughout the seasons afterwards. But the Wings of Freedom,
yes,
the whole idea was the scouts wanted to be outside of the walls. Like, you know, we wanted to be able to leave these walls and explore the world and stuff and basically be free.
Yes.
And then they leave their walls and they find out, oh, well, no, there's an ocean we have to cross. Now we know there's people on the other side of the ocean that want us dead. Is the Wings of Freedom even an achievable, like, you know, symbol anymore? Like, or is it just always going to be, you know, fighting? And what if the dark thing is like actually like Eren essentially being like, yes, so you can be free, you just have to fucking destroy the world to do it. Like, and that'd be basically the message behind it.
I don't know, because Eren...
Like, or if it's going to be like
it depends on how far he's willing to go.
You know, a total defeat to an extent, and then putting, like, someone back in, like, the king's spot to maintain peace, so to speak. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he was basically saying, like, I don't know how much I trust the Tiber guy's speech, you know, because, like, at first I was just like, oh, shit, like, he's telling everybody the truth about this, and then I was like, oh, because he's turning it to be like, despite all of this happening, we still have to go attack these guys, though. And
yeah,
it makes me wonder, like, if everything he said was 100% trustworthy, because they were planning to go retake that founding Titan either way. They have been this whole time.
Yes.
And it's almost like, yeah, like, they're going to take it, but it's not going to be the same thing if they take it. It's just going to be on Marley's side. And then you know what Marley's probably going to fucking do with it.
Absolutely.
Like, they're going to continue to use it to further their own military power, and there's not going to be a time of peace because of that at all.
Yeah. And that goes against what King Fritz wanted. King Fritz's overall decree of...
It's literally, King Fritz's whole deal was, leave us the fuck alone.
Yeah, please, just leave us alone. We don't want any more.
They refused, so...
Hey, that's how it goes. I mean, a wish for peace. I mean, that's the one thing with, like, every war has had to have an insurmountable amount of suffering before eventually a resolution can be made. For instance, you know, in terms of the European theater, I mean, you look at how many people had to die just for Berlin to fall. I mean, a lot, you know... I was taught about the Western Front a lot in school because that was the side that we fought on. But the Eastern Front, when you see how many Russians literally were thrown at the German war machine and were literally slaughtered by the millions,
like, this also reminds me in a way.
Well,
I think there might be a parallel here to nuclear weaponry,
kind of,
because countries
Japan
have had nuclear weaponry, so they say all the time, as a deterrent.
Yes.
It's like, you have nuclear weapons so that nobody else is going to nuke you, because they'll know they'll get nuked back.
Yeah.
And the Titans were kind of a similar thing there. It was like King Fritz had, you know, the Titans over there, and he's like, don't fucking attack us, because our Titans will trample you and destroy you if you do. And Marley kind of wants the Titan because, you know, they want a deterrent against their military enemies. They want something that they can use if, like, they want to take somebody over. They want
in which they already have. I mean, we've seen them use it in wars against other nations. So it's kind of like, in the real world, like, you know, everyone says it's a deterrent, but if you're not a superpower country and you start building nukes, everybody immediately starts pointing at you and being like, fucking stop, no!
No, you don't get those. We get those. Only we get those. Like, you know.
Well,
it's like
it's
basically that's what North Korea was saying. It's like, oh, we're building these so we'll have a deterrent. And
yeah,
it's like,
the ICBM.
honestly, as a small country, you kind of need that to an extent. Like in Metal Gear Solid, that was like the Outer Heaven deal. Is like they had a nuke. And they were going to be using it like as a leave us the fuck alone, or we'll throw this nuke at you.
Well,
basically. Like,
and here's the
everybody
thing.
was basically like,
nuclear...
oh, they're a terrorist cell. They're a terrorist cell. They're not allowed to have that.
Yeah, my whole thing with if a country wants to develop nuclear power, let them develop. For instance, people shit on nuclear power in terms of its effectiveness, in terms of its like power creation. In terms of its power creation, it's actually the cleanest form of energy out there. Did you know that? It's actually, right now, more clean than the so-called renewables. Because the renewables don't produce enough power for the energy needs of for instance, did you know that Germany...
widely available renewables anyways. Because, I mean, honestly, the most renewable power source right now is probably solar power.
Solar and wind are the ones.
The cleanest as well.
But here's the thing with it. Until we're able to get, because right now we've hit physics limit of the current main production line of solar panels. We have hit complete and total physics limits of what we are able to do with it. Until we are able to get graphene in there, which the energy capacity and the energy transfer of that far outweighs anything that the cobalt ones that we have right now. Until we get that, then there could be an argument made. But in terms of it, I mean the amount of
which
stuff
also,
it
from
takes.
what I've heard, is like the government wants to tax you for using solar power if you.
And that's the other thing too.
Use it. Everybody's kind of like, ugh, dude.
Well, and solar power. Another thing about it as well is, do you know how much it costs to excavate cobalt? You need big machines to excavate cobalt. You need big machines. Not only that, but in countries where you can get the cheapest, it's usually dug out by kids. And those kids don't have safety equipment. And those kids develop cancer by the time they're 20. So, yeah, it's not very renewable. Whereas nuclear, on the other hand, nuclear has pretty much... The only meltdowns that have been bad are ones that are from reactors that are from like the 1960s that they have not made...
What do they do about the nuclear waste?
Oh, the nuclear waste? The thing about nuclear waste is how it used to be stored in barrels and then sealed away in concrete under mass and everything. But instead now, the nuclear waste that is produced by comparison is actually, by comparison, if you want to say like a 50-gallon drum, like a big 50-gallon drum, to back then, to now, effectively you can fill up a Coca-Cola bottle cap. And that's the amount of...
found ways to reduce the waste.
Yes, and not only that, but nuclear waste has also been found in certain ways to also be used as an energy source and to be recycled. They've actually found ways to potentially recycle nuclear waste and make it an energy source in itself. Now, here's the thing. People don't know about this because, nuclear... why would these energy companies want to part with, big oil and all these other things that can guarantee that they're going to remain in power, and also the fact that they can get a grip on the renewable market and make that a bubble, and thus charge everyone through the wazoo, through up the nose and out the ass for that shit too. You know why? Because they want to remain in power. They don't because you see, Germany made a carbon neutral thing where they said, oh yeah, we'll be 100% renewable by 2030. But their emissions have gone nowhere but up because of the constant production of them trying to make cobalt-based solar panels. Whereas France, which has been running off of nuclear energy since the 1970s, 100% nuclear, their emission standards are actually the best out of any country in Europe, period. And their energy demands are, I think, the third most out of the entire like continent. Germany's number one, but they're like very close. They're like very close in third place, and they're all nuclear. And the whole thing with I don't know how we got on this topic. Nuclear.
Just the nuclear bombs.
Yeah, and everyone thinks that nuclear power plants are like nuclear bombs, and that's that's absolute nonsense. It's impossible for them to be
Everybody's kind of
converted
afraid
over.
of them. Like if they built one in your backyard, which technically we kind of have one in our backyard.
Kind of, technically, yes.
We have one close enough that, like, I don't know if it's the case anymore with what you were talking about, if they've updated their technology.
Oh, they have. Every reactor.
I know back in the day
States,
they said that, like, if we were to ever be attacked, like, that would actually be a prominent, like, target to hit, because it would, if they could cause a meltdown at that plant, it would hit like a very widespread area.
Well, in terms of the radiation, no, because the truth is how the radiation works nowadays is that we have concrete and natural barriers around them to prevent the widespread release of nuclear isotopes. So instead of if they were to blow it up and a meltdown were to occur, the safety measures, which are completely like built around it, and you would literally, in order to get it to escape, they would literally have to excavate the nuclear isotopes out of the safety measures, and then let them melt down outside of that. But
so they've updated their safety measures since Chernobyl
since
stuff like that.
3 Mile Island incident is what caused it.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't there an incident in Japan or somewhere like that?
No, that was Fukushima. And the thing with that is the only person who died from nuclear radiation was one of the workers who was like on the floor when the reactor water burst. No one else like died from it. One person. Chernobyl, the reason why it fucked up so bad was because it was an RBMK reactor, and the Russian government did not listen to their nuclear physicists and just said, "Oh well, it's cheap. It's cheaper than us than having to rebuild everything," and thus. Instead, it cost them far more.
So in other words, dated infrastructure, and it was allowed.
Dated infrastructure, dated protocols, everything, and it wound up collapsing the Soviet Union because it wound up costing more. It cost them 10 times the amount for cleanup for that one power plant.
I still need to watch that miniseries.
Than to build 10 new power plants with the proper safety regulations.
Is that called Chernobyl?
Yes,
yeah, I need to watch
it's awesome. It's a 5-parter, dude. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite miniseries to come out. But anyway, yeah. So a nuclear explosion, which there's one Titan that is capable of pulling that off.
Oh yeah, it's looking more and more. By the way, like this is going to be relegated to 16 episodes, and that's all we get.
Shit.
I have a increasingly bad feeling about that, but we'll see where it goes.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully they're able to pull something off.
Especially if they're not going to split it at all. Like, I would feel a lot better about it if 4 episodes from now, you know, we find out that, all right, that's all we get for a little while, and they're going to wait for at least the manga to finish before they do the last 8.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like, obviously, from what people have been saying, there's too much left to fit into that number of episodes, but at least if they wait long enough for the manga to be finished, they know how roughly it's supposed to end, and maybe they can come up with something that's not going to cut too many important events out.
Yeah, it won't cut too many corners and fuck it up.
Too weird and confusing in places and stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens, because I'm just
fingers crossed.
Just like, man, that sucks from what I've heard from people who have been reading, because they're just like, they can't fit that. There's no way.
Well,
so
all right, I think that's gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Hopefully that doesn't happen, because it seems like it's, you know, on the path to being another ridiculously awesome anime season. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially with what happened this episode. Jesus,
this episode felt really short. Like, it just felt short. Like,
I think the pacing was what got that.
It's just like it was really like over before it started. It's like, I guess it's because we began and ended with them sitting in the same room.
Yeah.
Like that we were at the end of the last episode, and not until the very end of the episode did something really big happen.
Not much happened with like the primary like plot point in this, but a lot was going on around them. And now we're going to see exactly what the hell is going to be up in the next episode. All right, I think that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. This was Attack on Titan, Season 4, Episode 5, Declaration of War. If you all enjoyed, let us know in the comments down below. And I guess until next time, signing off, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
We'll see you then, everybody. Peace out.